Let's kick things off with one of the most frequent flyers in the courtroom: breach of contract. Now, a contract, as you probably know, is a legally binding agreement. You shake hands, sign on the dotted line, and boom, you're both bound to uphold your end of the deal. Sounds simple enough, right? But here's where things get sticky. What happens when one person doesn't deliver on their promise? Contractor. Maybe it's a contractor who misses a deadline, a supplier who sends the wrong materials, or even a friend who borrows money and forgets to pay it back. When one party doesn't hold up their end of the bargain, the other party might feel like they have no choice but to sue for damages. And trust me, these breach of contract cases, they're everywhere, from the construction site to the boardroom and even in the world of freelancing. Next up is a big one: personal injury. Picture this. You're strolling through the grocery store, minding your own business, when suddenly you slip on a puddle of spilled juice and take a tumble. Injured party. Or maybe you're driving home from work and bam, someone rear-ends you at a red light. Accidents happen, right? But these unfortunate events can lead to some pretty hefty medical bills, lost wages, and a whole lot of pain and suffering. And that's when things can take a legal turn. If someone believes their injury was caused by someone else's negligence, whether it's a careless driver, a property owner who didn't fix a hazard, or even a dog owner who didn't leash their furry friend, they might decide to file a lawsuit to seek compensation for their damages. Coming in at number 3, we have property disputes. And let me tell you, these can get messy. We're talking about those disagreements that arise from, well, owning property. Think boundary lines, encroaching trees, shared driveways, you name it. Imagine this. You've lived in your home for years, perfectly content with where your property ends and your neighbor's begins. Then one day, your neighbor decides to build a fence, but it's a few feet over the property line, right on what you thought was your land. Or maybe your neighbor has a magnificent oak tree that's been around for centuries, but now drops leaves and acorns all over your perfectly manicured lawn. These might seem like small potatoes, but trust me, they can escalate quickly, especially when property values, personal space, and good old-fashioned pride are involved. Chapter 4. Now, this next one is becoming more and more prevalent, especially in the age of social media defamation of character. We all know how powerful words can be, and unfortunately, sometimes people use them to spread harmful mistruths about others. Defamation basically boils down to saying something false and damaging about someone's reputation. Whether it's a vicious rumor whispered in the office kitchen, a scathing review posted online, or a flat-out lie shared on social media for the world to see. And here's the thing. In the digital age, information travels at warp speed. What starts as a single post can quickly snowball into a viral storm, causing serious damage to a person's personal and professional life. And when that happens, the person whose reputation has been tarnished might decide to take legal action and file a defamation lawsuit to clear their name and seek compensation for the harm caused. Chapter 5. Employment disputes. Moving right along to number 5. Employment disputes. The workplace can be a wonderful thing, a place to collaborate, innovate, and build a career. But let's face it, not every employment experience is sunshine and rainbows. Sometimes, disagreements arise between employers and employees, and when those disagreements can't be resolved amicably, they can escalate into full-blown legal battles. We're talking about issues like wrongful termination, unpaid wages, discrimination based on race, gender, or religion, and even harassment. These situations can get incredibly complex and emotionally charged, and unfortunately, they often end up in court. Chapter 6. Product liability. For number 6, let's talk about product liability. Now, we rely on products every single day. from the cars we drive to the appliances in our homes to the clothes we wear. But what happens when a product malfunctions or is designed in a way that causes harm? That's where product liability comes in. If a product is defective, meaning it doesn't work as it's supposed to, or if it's unreasonably dangerous to use, the manufacturer, distributor, or even the seller can be held liable for any injuries or damages it causes. These cases can involve anything from faulty brakes in a car to contaminated food to dangerous toys. And sadly, they can have devastating consequences for both individuals and businesses. Chapter 7. Intellectual Property Infringement. Last but not least, let's wrap up with intellectual property infringement. Don't worry, I'll break down this legal jargon. Intellectual property refers to creations of the mind, things like inventions, literary and artistic works, designs, symbols, and even names and images used in commerce. Basically, it's the stuff that makes our world more interesting, innovative, and creative. Now, intellectual property rights are there to protect creators and give them control over how their work is used. But sometimes, people knowingly or unknowingly use someone else's intellectual property without permission. This could be anything from copying a logo or using a copyrighted song in a commercial without a license to selling counterfeit goods or even stealing a trade secret. And when that happens, it's called intellectual property infringement, and it can lead to some serious legal consequences. Stay safe, stay informed. So, there you have it, my friends. The 7 most common reasons people get sued. I know it can seem like a lot, but remember, knowledge is power. By understanding these common pitfalls, you can take steps to protect yourself, your business, and your hard-earned cash. The key takeaway here? Be informed, be mindful of your actions, and communicate clearly. Because often, a little bit of prevention is worth a whole lot of cure. And remember, this video is for informational purposes only and not intended as legal advice. If you have specific legal concerns, it's always best to consult with a qualified attorney. So let's recap. Breach of contract, personal injury, property disputes, defamation, employment disputes, product liability, and intellectual property infringement are some of the most common reasons people get sued. And as you've seen, these situations can arise unexpectedly. The key takeaway? Stay informed, be mindful of your actions, and communicate openly. Lawsuits can often be avoided with clear agreements, respect for others' rights, and a little bit of caution. If you found this video helpful, don't forget to like, subscribe, and comment. Let us know if there are other legal topics you'd like to see. Thanks for watching, and stay safe out there. Thanks for watching.